Hi, angel friend. I'm Kathy, the angel speaker. Today, the angels want to cover the 5 ways that they bring you messages. I call these the angel languages. The first and most important thing to know about receiving messages is that you can do this. It doesn't matter how old you are or how blocked you feel you may be. God and the angels speak to us continually. Let's get started. The first of the 5 angel languages is the language of feeling. This is when the angels bring us their messages through something that we feel. With the angel language of feeling, you will feel both physical feelings and emotional feelings. This is the first way I ever got a message from the angels, and that has been true for many people I know. As we were growing up, most of the grown-ups around us said, "What do you think?" far more than, "How do you feel?" Thinking keeps us in our heads. The angel language of feeling moves us down to our hearts. That's where we receive angel messages. Gut feelings are part of the angel language of feeling. When we say, "I just knew it in my gut," we're talking about a message from the heavenly realms. The feeling of joy or, "Oh my gosh, my heart just skipped a beat," are part of this angel language too. You may feel an angel gently brush your hair, or you may feel like you just got a heavenly hug. Have you ever gotten goosebumps when you're not cold? This is another way that you can experience the angel language of feeling. That is the first way that I was ever aware of the presence of my angels. Throughout my life, I had gotten seemingly random goosebumps and I didn't know why. Now I know that my goosebumps are telling me that whatever I'm currently thinking about is the direction the angels want me to head. Also, now that I'm more aware of my angel connection, I know that different angels connect with me on different parts of my body. For instance, if I get goosebumps on the top of my head, that's a different angel than the ones I feel elsewhere. I have an angel that gives me goosebumps on the left side of my body and a different angel that does on my right side. I can be sweating outside in the hot Texas summer sun, and if my angels come in, I still get visible goosebumps. Sometimes visible goosebumps, or goosebumps in general, seem to be contagious. So if you get goosebumps anytime during this video, that's your angel saying a happy hello. Be sure to pay attention. Like all angel languages, the angel language of feeling doesn't always give you actions to take that seem to make sense in the physical, logical world. Here's a case in point. My feeling of dread that I got each morning as I got ready for work was the angels telling me that I needed to leave my job. My logical brain, however, said, "But you're a single mom. You have 2 children you need to raise and feed." My health got worse and worse while I continued in that job. I was too terrified to leave. The company I was working for went downhill rapidly, and soon I got laid off. I was so scared. Now I can see that the company did me a huge favor when it laid me off, but at the time I couldn't see it at all. Amazingly though, I started doing the life coaching I had trained for, the job I really wanted to do but didn't have the courage to try, and I was so grateful to find that I was able to support my children through that. My health improved, and my children could see their mother setting an example of a happy woman working at a fulfilling job. My feeling that I could no longer work at that company was a true angel message. Thankfully, the company laid me off when I didn't have the courage to leave myself. One friend told me she was worried to trust her feelings because she thought they were fickle. She couldn't determine whether she was receiving a heavenly message or if her feelings were just wishful thinking. That's a very important thing to consider. The best way to make the distinction is to determine whether you're living in your ego or in your soul. Your ego will either tell you that you're better than others or that you're worse than others. The ego always compares. If the feeling you are getting makes you feel that you're better or worse than anyone else, you can be sure that you're in your ego. If you're there, do not listen to your feelings. Your soul, on the other hand, knows that you're equal to all others. Your soul does not flip-flop. It does not tell you in one moment that you should move forward and in the next moment that you should move backward. It's constant. It's encouraging. It doesn't beat you up or believe that you're unworthy. Once you've determined that you're in your soul, then you can discern the messages the angels are sending to you. The feelings that come from your angels are consistent, whether it's physical feelings or emotional feelings. They do not vacillate back and forth. The second way the angels speak to us is the angel language of seeing. With this language, you'll want to open your mind and turn up your awareness level. Things that you have seen in the past and not paid attention to may now be important. Usually the angel language of seeing is quite subtle. Occasionally it can be bold and obvious. Most of the time the messages I receive are subtle, but there are times they really jump out. Yes, an angel could suddenly appear in front of you, and that would be an example of a bold, obvious angel appearance. Usually I see angels as sparkles out of the corner of my eye, which is much more subtle. Angels bring us messages in this way through anything we can see. Some of their favorite ways to bring messages are through the shapes of clouds. I've also amazingly seen clouds change colors. One of my friends was with me when this happened, and we watched one spot in the clouds shift colors. The rest of that cloud and all the rest of the clouds in the sky remained pure white. It was so much fun to see the heavenly color show. When my husband Doug and I were thinking of moving to a neighborhood named Falcon Point, I began to see the word falcon on billboards, in random magazine articles, and all around town. I saw the word so often that I finally burst out laughing and said, "Okay, I've got your point. We'll move." Another thing you may see is repeating numbers. Maybe it's the address of the home you grew up in, or maybe it's your birth date or the date of your anniversary. You can see numbers on clocks, license plates, utility poles, mileage signs, you name it. I sometimes marvel at the amount of work the angels must have had to do to have me leave the house at exactly the right time, to have the right car with the right license plate pull in front of me at the right time with the numbers I needed to see. The logistics in the heavenly world must be amazing. You may interpret your angel messages either literally or figuratively. An example is if you see champagne glasses over and over. A figurative message might be that you've done a great job and you need to go celebrate. Or a literal message might be that there's an upcoming event that involves alcohol that you need to be aware of. The angels also speak to us through the natural world. Seeing angels, butterflies, and feathers can bring us messages from God's kingdom. Consider the idea that these may not be random occurrences, that they may be signs that have been divinely placed for you by the angels in the invisible realm. If something happens too often to be a coincidence, or is too unusual to be random, stop and ask the angels for help in discerning their message. My friend has what she calls the rule of 3. If she sees something 3 times, she knows it's a message from heaven. If she sees it only 1 or 2 times, she thinks that's a coincidence. The third way the angels connect with us is the angel language of hearing. Learn to listen with your angel ears. The sounds you hear may be sounds in the physical world, or they may be sounds that only you hear. Some people with this gift hear very clear, complete sentences, and some people only receive one word or a short sound. If you only hear one word, don't worry. That's the message that you need. The angels speak to all of us in the ways that are best for us. Don't be jealous or envious of another person's gifts. We all receive what we need to receive in the way we need to receive it. With the language of hearing, you may overhear a stranger having a conversation with someone else, and they say just the words you need to hear. Or you get in the car and turn on the radio just in time to hear the message you need from the DJ, or the advertisement, or the words in the music. Maybe you hear the same song time after time and you know it just couldn't be a coincidence. A friend once told me she was driving and she heard her deceased mother say stop. She stopped the car immediately, even though she was at a green light. Right then, a car ran their red light, flew through the intersection, and would have hit her had she not listened to her mother and stopped. The message you hear may come loudly or softly. If you need to, feel free to ask the angels to turn the volume up or down. They're happy to help. You may also hear a ringing in one ear for a short time. This is not tinnitus, or some people pronounce it tinnitus. I interpret this as the angels downloading information that I'll need in the future. Often we receive the messages more easily, either when we're going to sleep or just waking up. So don't be surprised if this is when you receive your messages. At that point in the day, we seem to be more open to receiving messages because our brain is not as active as it is during the working day. Ask and allow the angels to send their messages to you. Let them know that you're open to communicating with them. The fourth angel language is the language of knowing. With this language, people just seem to know what to do or say. They usually can't explain how or why they know. For me, receiving messages from the language of knowing is so seamless and easy that before I understood how the angels connected with us, I just thought I knew a lot of things. I also thought that because I knew things that other people knew the same things. This turned out not to be the case. The language of knowing is a very powerful gift, but often because it's so seamless and easy for many of us, we may discount it and not realize that it's a heavenly message. I can chuckle at myself now, but back in the day, I just thought I had really great ideas. I didn't know it was the angels connecting with me. With the language of knowing, you may experience a deep inner drive to do something, and you feel compelled to complete it. Because of this knowing, I have been called to start a business, and it was very successful. I also knew I needed to plan a visit to see my mom on a specific weekend. I didn't know until I got there, though, that Sunday was a milestone anniversary of the church she grew up in. And if I hadn't been there, she wouldn't have had a way to get to church. It was the last time she got to see many of her relatives as she transitioned to heaven shortly thereafter. Be sure to suspend your disbelief and trust that your angels are connecting with you deeply through the language of knowing. The fifth way the angels connect with us is through the language of dreams and visions. Before my days of connecting with angels, I would have sworn to you that I didn't dream. I never remembered my dreams in the morning. At that point in my life, I thought that getting an angel message in a dream was a really weird thing, and certainly that it wouldn't happen to me. The angels had to work with me really hard to tap into this gift, and now it's one of the strongest ways they communicate with me. To me, a vision is a static picture like a snapshot, whereas a dream is like a movie with different scenes. I recommend keeping a journal next to your bed and writing down your dreams and visions as soon as you wake up in the morning. Write down as many details as you can. Then get a dream symbol dictionary so you can discern the messages you've received. For me, most of my dreams and visions are symbolic, not literal. When you discern the symbols in your dreams with the help of a dream dictionary, you can take the symbols and turn them into helpful, practical messages. One of the reasons I think the angels bring us so many messages in our dreams is because when we're asleep, our brain is at rest, but our soul is still awake. Messages in our dreams can bypass our hamster wheel brains that are at work in our waking hours. In my dreams, I've received both affirmations that I was on the right track and warnings when things weren't right. Seeing them in my dreams was helpful because then I couldn't discount them. In my waking hours, I might have thought that the affirmations were just wishful thinking, and my logical mind may have discounted any warnings I received. The angels always give us their messages in the way we need to receive them. Both dreams and visions are very powerful messages from the invisible world. However you receive your messages, through the angel languages of knowing, feeling, seeing, hearing, or dreams and visions, please remember that you are the final authority on what they mean. You can ask your friends or a trusted counselor to help you understand them, but the final understanding of them has to be yours. It's critical to remember this. Be careful who you share your messages with, because there are people who will discount your connection with the invisible world. Pray that you'll be able to discern all the messages that you receive. Remember that you can always ask the angels to bring you the message in a different way to make it more clear to you. Friend, the angels are waiting for you to connect with them. Be open. Ask for their help. Ask them to bring you messages. Know that you can grow your spiritual connection by being open and listening. Be willing to look at life through your spiritual eyesight. I can't wait to hear about the adventures you have with your angels. And if you're already receiving angel messages, I'd love to read your stories in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find out more about us at angelspeaker.com. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.